Everyone, myself Juveri Asidika. Today in this session I am going to discuss about the amoebiasis. This is again come under the category of like waterborne diseases. Now let us see. Amoebiasis is a common infection of the human gastrointestinal tract. So as we know here, it is mentioning that here gastrointestinal tract. It is related to the digestive system and the internal organs where the infection is caused by the protozoan parasite named as the Entamoeba histolytica. And such type of disease is considered as a amoebiasis. It is a potentially lethal disease. It carries a substantial morbidity and the mortality. So as we know, it is a very much risky or the severe condition if the person is getting suffer from this type of infection. And mortality rate is also high. It has a worldwide distribution. It is a major health problem in the whole of China, Africa, Southeast and the West Asia and Latin America, especially in the Mexico City. As we know here, it is spreading very well in the whole the large part of the world. It is a severe problem, or it is a common problem which is suffering from the people who are belong to the major part of the world. The term amoebiasis has been defined by WHO as the condition of harboring the protozoan parasite. So as we know, this disease is caused by the infection of protozoan parasite, and this is a Entamoeba histolytica. This is a protozoan parasite which causes the amoebiasis disease with or without clinical manifestations. So in the some condition, the infection should be like the clinical symptoms or some of the without clinical symptoms. The symptomatic disease occur in less than 10% of infected individuals. The symptomatic group has been further subdivided into intestinal and the extraintestinal amoebiasis. So it may be classified into two terms. One is the intestinal, which cause the damage or the infection into the intestine, and rather than the intestine, the other internal organs which are infected or which are get damaged by the infection of these Entamoeba histolytica. Such type is called as the extraintestinal amoebiasis. Only a small percentage of those having intestinal infections will develop invasive amoebiasis. The intestinal disease varies from mild abdominal discomfort and diarrhea to acute fulminating dysentery. So see here, in the case of the intestinal disease, it may be like the mild means somewhat little abdominal pain to the it may risky or it may more increase in the form of like a dysentery, means nothing but the here watery and the bloody diarrhea is also discomfort. Extraintestinal amoebiasis include involvement of like other parts, liver and the liver abscesses, lung, brain, spleen, skin, and this is come under into the extra amoebiasis or the extra intestinal amoebiasis. And what are the agents? If we talk about the agents, here the pathogenic strain of the Entamoeba histolytica. This is the pathogenic agent which cause the amoebiasis. And recent studies have shown that Entamoeba histolytica can be differentiated into at least 18 zymodems. But it may be classified, or you can say the differentiate into the 18 different varieties are the strains, and then isoenzyme electrophoretic mobility analysis. This is the technique where identified the 7 potential pathogenic and 11 non-pathogenic zymodems. So here 11 are the non-pathogenic, which is not cause that much of severity or the infection. This is not in the pathogen in nature. So see here, actually the what are the pathogens are nothing but the disease cause factor. So here the strains, 11 strains are the non-pathogenic, means the 11 type of the 11 varieties of these Entamoeba histolytica is a non-pathogenic in condition, which does not cause the disease, whereas the 7 varieties enteritis are the 7 stains which are potentially have that capacity to the spread the infection or which cause the infection. Entamoeba histolytica exists in two forms. One is the trophozoite or the vegetative form. The another one is the cystic form, which may be circulate or the surrounded by a cyst. So this type of form in the life cycle is called as the cystic form. Trophozoite form is a food eating stage, that is called as the trophozoite. Live in the colon where the multiply and the encysted. The cysts are excreted in the stools. It is may be excreted. So see here, this is a cystic form, means it may be surrounded with the cyst or a outer covering. Ingested cyst release trophozoites which colonize the large intestine. And what are the reservoir? If we talk about the reservoirs, these are like man is the only reservoir of the infection. The immediate source of infection is the feces containing the cyst. This is the immediate source. So where from it is coming? It is come from the intestinal system. So that is the whatever the feces of an infection person is contain the cystic stage, that may be act as a disease factor here. And reservoir is a man, human being. Most individuals infected with Entamoeba histolytica remain symptom free and are healthy carrier of the parasites. The carriers can discharge up to 1.5 into 10 to the power of 7 cysts daily. The greatest risk is associated with the carriers engaged in the preparation and the handling of the food. So the person who is suffering from this type of asymptomatic, you can say the carriers who is carrying the cyst, they may be carriers are engaged with how it will be associated. It is associated with the handling the process of food. Period of communicability. As long as the cysts are excreted, the period may be several years if the cases are unrecognized and untreated. So it may be stay for the long duration in the carrier. Carriers are who the person who receive or who carry this cyst stage, but the infection is not seen. If we cannot go for the diagnosis, if we does not go for any clinical examination, so that stage may be stay as long as that, maybe it is for the several years. So here the period of communicability, as we are talking about the period of communicability, it may be excreted from the long duration if it does not go for any diagnosis or any clinical manifestations. And host factors, amoebiasis may occur at any stage. No gender or the racial difference is there. Severe in the children's, old and the pregnant ladies. These symptoms may be more. And amoebiasis is a frequently a household infection. When an individual in a family is infected, others in the family may also be affected. So here there is no particular host like male or female. It is effect to the all the persons or all the what we can say here, all the ages of the persons or the human beings. Several factors contribute to the influence the infection. What are the factors? First one is the stress. Stress is a factor. Due to the stress also, due to the malnutrition, what we can say here, the digestion discomfort, the problem is there. Due to that also the infection, this is also a factor who contribute the passing of the infection. And then malnutrition, as we know, this is the not that much of proper diet. If you are not taking that much of proper diet, it is also affected. And alcoholism, taking off or the consumption of alcohol, and corticosteroid therapy, steroid if a person is taking any steroids, and immunodeficiency, the weak of the immune system, and alteration of the bacterial floral. So here the bacteria are the intestinal bacteria like Escherichia coli or this type of intestinal bacteria are present in the body of individual. Due to the non-functional, you can say if they are not that much of potentially active, then this type of protozoan parasites are get the infection. What are the risk factors? See, the risk factors means how and who will get the and how the causes of getting the infection is more. See, the people in the developing countries that have the poor sanitary condition. So as you know, this is the type of disease which may be come from the polluted water and the polluted food. So see here, in which area it may be developed, the more chance is to get the infection means where the poor sanitary condition will be seen. And then immigrants from the developing countries who are coming from the another countries, and travelers to the developing countries, and people who live in the institutions that have poor sanitary conditions, and HIV positive patients and homosexuals. So where this is the condition or the risk is there to get the more chance of the infection. First of all, where the poor sanitary condition, so it is like a hygienic issue. This amoebiasis is protected from to maintain a good, healthy and hygienic environment, then only we can overcome with such type of infection. If we are also getting this type of infection, we can be avoid by maintaining the healthy conditions. And as you know, this is the persons who are again the infected with like a HIV/AIDS, so they may be a risk to get the this type of infection. Why? Because here in the AIDS, what happened, the immunity power is less due to the immune system is not working that much of proper condition. It is a risk to get the lot of symptoms or the another diseases like amoebiasis or another TB. So different diseases is there which may be a chance to get the infections. And what are the environmental factors? Amoebiasis is a more closely related to the poor sanitation and socio-economic status than to the climate. If we are not maintaining a good and healthy environment in our home, and the poor ventilation and the poor sanitation is there, then in that condition, due to the poor environmental condition, it also may a chance to get this type of infection. The use of night soils for the agriculture purposes favors the spread of these diseases. In countries with the marked with dry seasons, infection rate at the higher during the rains. So rainy season, the water is getting polluted, so it is also a cause that the spread of this type of diseases is more. Epidemic outbreaks are usually associated with the seepage into the water supply. So poor sewage system, as we know, this is the management of the sewage system. If it is not working in the proper condition, then it is also a risk to get the infection. So if you what we are saying here, we are saying that environmental factors, what are the environmental factors means the poor sanitary condition and the poor socio-economic condition in such areas, the getting this type of environmental by the environmental effects, the getting the infection is more. And in the rainy season, due to the rainy season, what happened, the water is also get polluted. By the pollution of the water, it is also a risk, a highly risk to get this type of infections. And then mode of transmission, how it will be transmitted from the person to the person, or the one person who is affected, it may be a chance to spread the disease. First one is like a fecal oral route. It is like a contaminated water and the food. First thing, the disease is spread or the transmitted by the contaminated water or the food. And fecal oral means if the water is contained or the person who is suffering or who is having the cyst, if they secrete the excreta into the nearby water, then it will be again such type of food or the water is taken up by the another person to getting a chance of the cystic infections. So this type of transmission is called as the fecal oral route. Vegetables, especially those eaten the raw vegetables, fields and that is the irrigated with sewage polluted waters. If the vegetables are culture or they are grown into the area with using this polluted water, and then direct hand to the mouth. And epidemic waterborne infections can occur if there is a heavy contamination of drinking water. The first one is like a contamination water, and second one, if we are taking the vegetables which is grown into the polluted water, direct hand to the mouth but direct infection, and then epidemic area which is again suffered or the contaminated. Here the contamination of water is a major factor by which a society or a community is getting a infection. And then sexual transmission, how it is transmitted by the sexual, especially among the males homosexuals. So this is take place in the high risk at the homosexuals. And then what are the vectors here, such as the flies are also the vector who carries the cystic stage, and cockroaches and rodents like mouse and the rats, and capable of carrying the cystic and the contaminated food and drinks. And then incubation period, about the 2 to 4 weeks are the longer. The incubation period may be like 2 to 4 weeks, near about the approximate to the 1 month. 3 days in the severe infection, several months in the subacute and the chronic form. Severe condition means very much high in the infection. If you can see, it may be like for the 1 month or like 2 months, but it is maybe stay, as I just told before. Now this is a disease which may be asymptomatic and it can be stay for the years, so chronic in the condition. And then acute amoebic dysentery. Acute means which may be disappear at the time, at that often stage. And see here, suddenly it may be arise and come to the severe in condition. Slightly attack of diarrhea here, and then altered with the periods of constipation and often accompanied by the tenesmus. So here the attack of diarrhea, the severe diarrhea start with the small diarrhea condition, and then constipation is started, and diarrhea, that is a watery and foul smelling stools often containing the blood streak mucus. So due to the internal intestinal damage, what happens here, due to the damage, whatever the diarrhea is formed, the diarrhea is as a blood streak mucus, so it is come with the blood. Nausea, abdominal distensions, and the tenderness in the right iliac region over the colon. And chronic is like a attack of dysentery lasting for several days. It is a prolonged for the long duration of time. So this is like a several days, usually succeeded by the constipation. And the tenesmus, anorexia, weight loss, and the weakness. Liver may be enlarged. The stools at first are semi-fluid, but soon it become the watery fluid, and then blood and the mucoid is also secreted from the stools. On the sigmoidoscopy is a technique, the scattered ulceration with the yellowish and the erythematosis border. So by doing the diagnosis, by the examination of the sigmoidoscopy method, you can see the formation of all the yellowish and the erythematosis red color ulcerations are formed. And then what are the preventions? If we talk about how this disease may be prevented, how the disease can be controlled, the first prevention and the control method, it may be again classified into like a two ways. First one is like a primary prevention, the secondary prevention. Coming to the primary prevention, the measures are made to the prevent contamination of water, food, vegetables, and the fruits with the human feces. So this is the first primary condition. The measures are made to prevent contamination of water. First of all, we have to see that take care of the water without getting any contamination. And then vegetables and the fruits with the human feces, we have to see that how we can be prevent from these things. The first one is like a sanitation, safe disposal of the human excreta, and elementary sanitary practices of the washing hands after the defecations and before eating is a crucial factor in the prevention and control of amoebiosis. So this is the primary and the basic things to avoid any type of the infection. We have to wash our hands simultaneously, we have to wash our hands before and after the defecation, and try to practice that excreta of the human disposal should be in the proper hygienic condition. And the second one is like a water supply. The cysts are not killed by chlorine in the amounts used for the water disinfection. So sand filters are quite effective in the removing amoebic cyst. Therefore, water filtration and the boiling are more effective than chemical treatment of water against the amoebiosis. So generally what we are doing for the distillation process or for the water purification process, we are using the chlorine, but for that chemical treatment it is not that much of preferable to avoid this amoebic dysentery. To avoid this amoebic dysentery, maybe we can go for the sand filters, where by using of the sand it is remove the infection or the cystic stages of the Entamoeba histolytica, and boiling of the water is also more essential to avoid this type of intestinal infections. Food hygiene. Uncooked vegetables and the fruits can be disinfected with the aqueous solution of acetic acid or full strength in the vinegar. We have to wash with the fruits with the vinegar or the acetic acid. In the most instances, through the washing with the detergents in the running water will remove the amoebic cyst from the fruits and vegetables. Health education. It's a very much important phenomena to educate a community to overcome this type of any infections. So health education is very much essential, especially in the developing countries as well as in the rural areas where the person are not follows the hygienic condition, or what we can say, they have to know what is the contamination, how can we protect the from getting any infection from this contaminated area or contaminated water and the food. In the long term, a great deal can be accomplished through the health education of the public. So as such, we know from the government also, they have to look after that, to educate the person, to educate the community members, to give the correct and proper information about the health issues, and they have to maintain a primary health center where any if epidemic is comes, they can be overcome with this type of the problem. And secondary prevention, if we talk about the secondary prevention, how can we prevent? By early diagnosis and the treatment. If we are a person is suffering from any type of discomfort, then they have to go for the diagnosis, they have to go for the clinical manifestations, and immediately they prefer the treatment. Then only we can control by getting the severity. A person at the present, there is no acceptable chemo prophylaxis for the amoebiosis, so there is not that much of chemical treatment, but mass examination and treatment cannot be considered a solution for the control of amoebiosis. So before that, what we have to do? We have to do one best practice is that before getting any severity, early diagnosis we have to done, and after that go for the preferable treatment. So in this session, I discuss about the definition of the amoebiosis, what is the amoebiosis, and what are the pathogen. The pathogen for the amoebiosis is Entamoeba histolytica. In which stage it may be spread? It is spread in the cystic stage. And what are the symptoms and what are the causes, how it will be stressed, like the stress and the environmental factor, socio-economic factor, and so many things are there which may be caused. And what are the carriers? Carriers are nothing but these are the individuals who are not that much of symptomatic, but they have to receive this cyst, and then it may be spread to the another persons. And lastly, we discuss about what is the treatment and what is the diagnosis of the amoebic dysentery. So I think this topic is end up.